All right, so some of this is a little bit out of date, I think, because they change HR Connects and the whole website pretty frequently. But if you want to do a projection, it's up here in the box. Just go to HR Connects, click on there. You've got your benefits. So what you're looking for is this: the HR Connects pension page. It's under retirement. Yes, it does say now. It does say a white now. Does it?
Yes,
DB
yes,
pension
yes.
plan. Yeah. So this is a little bit out of date.
Yeah.
It has been replaced. DB pension plan.
Yeah, the new one has a light in brackets.
Mm-hmm. So a light is the name of the pension plan administrator. So here you'll find this. I mean, I don't love this web page. I find it always takes me a few trips through to find out what I want to do. I don't know why they switched it this way, but up here you'll see your secure mailbox and notifications. Of course, it's shaped like a bell because mailboxes, I don't know. I don't get why it's a bell. I guess this is supposed to be an alert, but they've already got the red dot there, which I thought was the universal symbol for, anyway, whatever. They use a bell for your secure mailbox. You click on the bell, that gets you to your secure mailbox. Here are your actions on the side here. Schedule time with a specialist, send your document. The document uploader is very handy for those of you who are retiring soon. All your documents going to the pension department. This is the easiest way to do it. If you have access to a scanner, you just scan and send it to the document uploader. Select a beneficiary. As Paul said, one of the most important things you can do after leaving this seminar today, make sure your beneficiaries are up to date on here. Absolutely, everybody should do that. Even if it has your spouse on here, add another beneficiary just in case. Legally, your spouse is going to be your main beneficiary, but just in case something happens to both of you, makes it a lot easier if you have other beneficiaries on there. Projections, retirement hub, retirement dates.
Quick question.
Yep.
For the beneficiary, what information, so I want to put one of my kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what info we need to have?
I think they're going to look for a birth date and social insurance number.
Simple.
So even if you don't have that right away, I think you can add them and kind of add more information later. I mean, I've never seen this go awry, and I don't know if you have, but it's like, I would assume, my name's Chris Lipsit. If I name Quentin and Cecily Lipsit as my beneficiaries and don't have their social insurance numbers, I think they're going to assume I mean my children, but you know, I don't know. It might be more difficult if your name's John Smith and all your kids are named John Smith or something. Like, I think the social insurance number is just there to like absolutely make sure these are the people you're talking about, like confirm it. But you know, I've never run into something where someone had their names in but not their social insurance numbers, and it caused any kind of issue.
I do believe you need an email.
Pardon?
I think you need a contact, like an email.
Yeah, you might need a contact. You might need contact information for them. I can't remember, but what you will need to do is with the beneficiaries, I think they will send you something in the mail. You basically have to sign off and confirm. Then you can't just do it online, but you can start the process online.
And do they have to be a certain age?
No. I've got my 4-year-old twins on there as mine. Yeah. Okay. So this is more of the page. Incorporate. Again, you get here, pension benefit, what's happening in your pension plans, more info. So like anything on HR Connects, there's tons of great information on here. It's not easy to find. So reach out to a rep who knows what they're doing or how to navigate it. If that's any of us really at this point, this website is especially difficult here. But yeah, assumptions, this is important to click on these when you're projecting your pension, because the plan is going to make certain assumptions that basically you're going to keep working at this rate and at this salary for the rest of your career. The closer you are to retirement, the more accurate your projection is going to be. The nice thing about the calculator on here, unlike your annual pension report, the calculator is going to be more up to date. It's going to give you information based on basically the last month, whereas the projection or the update you get every year in the mail, that's going to be based back on the numbers as of the end of last year. So there you go. Here's some of the assumptions. Probably can't read it all. I can read this here. Benefits will be taken at defined retirement age or current age if older. Form of payment used is the normal form of payment as defined within the plan. No change in your current pay. So that's a big assumption, right? Obviously there might be changes in your pay. Current employment will continue until defined retirement age, and you'll be fully vested in all plans at the defined retirement age. So those are the assumptions that the calculator is going to make. All right, so again, most people here have run projections. I can just give you a quick rundown of how it works. Usually it'll say on a key date. The default will say earliest date without a reduction. As Paul explained earlier, once you get your 80 points and you're age 55, this is going to be the date that that will be in there that you say, okay, I won't take a reduction on my pension, this is where I'll take it. If you don't choose that number, you can pick a different date. One of the other options, normal retirement. They always call normal retirement age 60, or sorry, age 65. That's always considered normal retirement. If you retire at age 64, they're considering that an early retirement. So anything you get that says normal retirement, it will be age 65. Don't let that scare you. People will get this piece of paper saying your normal retirement date is way off in the future, and that's not your earliest date. That is just what they call the normal date. So you can, there's a few defaults, or you can pick an age or a specific date. I know in Halifax, the specific date is always, when does my rake expire? I'm not writing another rake. I'm just going to put when my rake expires in here. I'm not filling out that stupid paperwork anymore. So that's when I'm going to retire. That's my last day of work. So whatever, that works. And then date you want to start beginning to receive benefits. So almost always this is going to be the first day of the month after you retire. So one thing that I have to understand is that whatever, you can leave any time during the month, but you won't officially be retired until the first of the next month, right? Your last day could be the 30th, it could be the 15th, whenever. Your first day retirement will be the first day of the month afterwards. So pension forms of payment, this is key. This is going to show you all your different options and calculation details. Again, this is where you're going to find all the information. How are they getting these numbers, right? It spits out a number, looks good, looks bad. However it looks, this is what's going to show you. But first, this is the forms of payment, and this is what Paul's already gotten into. Joint survivor 50% annuity. You basically, depending on when you retire, and if you're married, you'll have 4 different options. Joint survivor 50%, joint survivor 60%, hired age 65, joint survivor 50%, hired at 65, joint survivor 60%. So it's going to show you all 4 of these options on there, and they'll all have different numbers attached to them. You get to kind of compare what makes sense for you and your family. Forms of payment, here you go. Here are the 2 choices on here. Depending on your age, if you qualify, you might have an option for the lump sum as well. That's on there. The thing is, if you are running a projection and you're doing a lump sum, don't count on that number staying the same. The lump sum really fluctuates with interest rates. It's based on, I believe, the 30-year blended bond rate, changes all the time. You've probably heard stories of people who retired during the package, when they got packaged out during the pandemic, who got really big lump sums. There are really 2 things going on there. With the package, they didn't face the reduction from age 65, so that saved them a ton of money. But also, if you remember back then, interest rates were at 0. So the amount of money that they were given was massive. Because basically that money is supposed to be the equivalent of what it would cost to pay your benefits as an annuity, right? So as interest rates go up, your lump sum, the amount they would give you, goes down. So the numbers, I don't know if there were people here, I'm not really sure. I know in Halifax people left some pretty massive lump sums that I don't know if we'll ever see again. But just something to keep in mind. If you do a projection, say, hey, what will my lump sum look like in 5-10 years, and you're counting on that, just don't. Because that number is going to change a lot. It's going to change every day. So again, then they've got here the locked in lump sum, unlocked lump sum. For tax purposes, I mean, this is going to be in here, how much you can be able to access, how much is going to go in a locked-in account. You're going to get anything that is unlocked, you're going to get taxed on right away as income. So you're going to lose a lot of it to the tax man right from the jump. Okay, so here is the calculation details we were mentioning before. Yeah, average annual compensation at date of calculation. So this is what we talked about before, your best 36 months. That's right there, that's going to be part of the calculation.
All right, so Chris,
Yes.